Welcome to part one of the Deep Space Nine Runabout build-up. This is a skill level 2 kit. It's made by AMT ERTL, and as you can most probably imagine by that logo, it's a fairly old kit. It does date back to 1993, which makes it 22 years old. So it is fairly old. This is going to be the fourth and the final build for me in the Deep Space Nine series. As you can recall, the first one was the Cardassian Glor class cruiser. That was followed up by the USS Defiant. I've just finished the Deep Space Nine space station, so it's now time to turn my attention to this particular kit. This is going to be done slightly differently in the fact that I'm going to do this landed on a diorama. So I will have some little rocks about, some grass and some trees possibly, and some bushes. So that should prove to be fairly interesting to build. I've also purchased the Don's Light and Magic kit for this as well to help me light up the impulse grills. And I've also purchased the interior kit for this model as well, and I've also got some figures that should hopefully be in the right scale for this kit too. So let's just have a quick look on the outside of the box. There's nothing remarkable on this, to be fair, due to the age of it. All we've got there is just a little diagram of the runabout, and it just basically tells you that, you know, it's pointing towards the warp engine nacelles and the Basalt Scoops and the sensor clusters, etc. And then if we turn it around to the side, you can see there we've got the same picture as we do on the top, and then on this side we've just got various little languages telling us some information about the model. It tells us that it's the Deep Space Nine Runabout. It measures over 12 inches long when assembled. Features a detachable deep space sensor, includes decals to build the USS Rio Grande, the USS Yancey, or the USS Ganges. And it's also got 44 highly detailed pieces. Paint and cement is not included. But that's about it. And then on that side, again, we've got the same picture as on the top. So what I'll do is I'll get the box open, and I'll get the parts out so we can have a little look through those, and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, so this is the main body of the ship, and it does come in two parts. There is, for a really old kit, quite a lot of detail on this. If I bring this up, you can see that we've got the really nice panel lines there, and they're really sharp and crisp. So that's going to be great to do. What I'll do is I'm going to get a Sharpie and basically mark out all of those panel lines once I put the primer on there. So when I put the top layer of paint on there, we're going to be able to see that poke through, so that's really going to help bring out the panel lines on this. And one of the other good things is the fact that we're going to be able to also do some of these panel lines in different colors as well, just to help break it up a little bit. So that's really good. And then at the front there we've got the forward cockpit windows, then we've got the side windows down there, and at the back we've got the cabin windows that go all the way around, and then we've got some more cockpit windows down that side. Now there is still a little bit of flashing on these windows, but nothing too bad. It's only going to take a couple of minutes just to go in there and finish those off. One of the things that I'm going to be doing on the top here is with the warp core, all these little segments I'm going to drill out, and then I'm going to light those up. So that's looking quite good. And then on the underside of the ship, again, we've got a real good amount of detail. I mean, they've gone, especially around these areas here, there's a lot of detail, especially for a 93 model kit. There's quite staggering really, the amount of detail they've actually put on this. I'm not going to go into too much trouble on this one with the detailing, as it's basically going to be stuck to a diorama, so you're not going to see the underside of the model kit. And then on the inside there, as you can see, we've got the line where the cockpit ends, and also the same with the cabin there. So we've got all of that space there, which is basically dead. So hopefully I should be able to get all the electronics etc. in there that I need to be able to light this kit up. So that's those two sections of the main body of the ship. And then we've got the warp engine, the warp nacelles here. Now I've only got one out because the other one is going to be exactly the same. And as you can see on this, again, there is a lot of detail. So again, that's going to be fantastic to do that with. In fact, we're going to have quite a bit of fun doing all the detail work on this. One of the only issues with this kit really is the fact that the parts around the Basalt Scoop don't meet up properly, and they all seem to be different sizes and various thicknesses as well. So I'm just going to need to sort that out, but again, that's not really a biggie. We've also got the navigation lights and also the anti-collision lights there. And the warp engines, the nacelles do go all the way around, so I will be coating those in copper. We've also got the space there for the DLM parts to replace the kit parts, and then on the other side there we've also got another section where we've got a part for the impulse exhaust. So I just need to cut out the bits of plastic on either side there really to help transmit the light. So I'll get the some of the other parts for the kit out. There's not many parts to this kit, so it doesn't really take a genius to work out what parts what really. This is the long-range sensor dome. Still not sure whether I'm going to be using this or not. I might do. It just depends on how I feel really once I start building the kit. But again, there is a lot of detail on there, so there's a lot of scope really to start doing things to that. And then these parts are the pylons really for the long-range sensor suite. And again, there's quite a bit of detail on those. So we've got two of those. Sorry, excuse me. These are the impulse exhausts that basically fit onto the model kit, and I got the wrong one there for this. But they basically go on to the inside there like so. I will need to just basically drill out the inside of that and then sand that down till it's smooth so we can get the light coming through there. I will put some resin or something inside that to just to help take some of the harshness away from the lights. And then we've got the two kit parts for the impulse grills, which I'm not going to be using, and I'll show you the DLM parts on that in a second. These two parts here, again, they're for the long-range sensor suite. Now, there is in there a bit of scope to put some lighting in if I do use this kit, if I do use this part of the kit. We've then got some little greeblies that basically fit down the side of the ship. They will fit just there, which do help to give it some more detail, which is good. We like detail, lots and lots of detail. And then we've also got these little parts. I like to call them grills. I don't know what they are actually, but they fit on the side of the model kit there, so I will more than likely put those in place before I actually start spraying. So that's those. There's 2 of those. And then we've also got these parts for the model kit, and they go, I can't quite remember where they go, but they do go somewhere on the model kit. I think it's about there. They go to the underside of the model kit. I'd need to look on the instructions actually to see exactly where they go. And again, there's 2 of those. The animal's going in 2x2. And then we've got these little parts here. There's not a lot of detail on these, and I think I'm going to actually have to fill those parts in because they don't look good like that, just left like that. But they would fit on the side of the model just like that, and they are also phaser arrays. So as you can see, once I've put that in, there is going to be sort of like a hole on the bottom side of it, which I'm not happy with, so I will fill those in. And again, there's 2 of those. These are the Basalt Scoops for the front. I'll pick that one up in a minute. Anyway, as I was saying, these are the Basalt Scoops for the front. These will need to be frosted on the inside, so I just use like a 120 grit paper to do that with. And then we've just got the various little windows that go around, and I do believe that that is the back one that would fit in there. Now, because I'm going to put figures in there, I might not use these windows. I will more than likely just use plastic on the inside of those. And then this one here is the cockpit windows. Now, the good thing with this plastic is the fact that there's no distortion on this, so I will more than likely end up using these ones rather than trying to replicate new windows for this, as there is a curve on these windows, and that, well, I say a curve, it's actually angled, so I most probably will use those ones. And then we've got the various other windows for the sides of the kit as well, which basically go in there, and again I will more than likely replace those as well. And then we've got the smaller windows as well that would go in there as well. These ones at the front, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be using these or not. If I am using those, then I will cover those in with a blanking plate, as you can see on some of the models. And then on the tree, we've got the nacelle engines, the cells. So those will need to be sprayed blue, and then on the outside I will just give them a light dusting of copper, so when the engine's off you can just see that nice copper colour coming through. And then on the inside, in this bag, if I can get it open, come on, don't let me down now, that's it, we're in. We've got the 2 impulse engine intakes for the front of the ship. Now if I can find one of the other ones, there we go. That's the same, no it's not the same side. This one is, if I can pick it up, my fingers aren't working properly, there we go. So you can see the difference straight away on those. This is obviously, this big chunk of plastic at the bottom needs to be cut off, but you can see how different they are. Well, they look the same. The only difference is that we haven't got the grill on the insert there, and that's what that's going to look like when it's in place. And then if I can get the impulse engine, I bet I've picked up the wrong one. Let me just take this off the ship if we can. There we go. I have picked up the wrong one, so let me use the other one. Nothing like being prepared, is there? Here we go. Right, so basically these will fit in the... Oh, I did have the right one. I do apologise. I'll make up my mind in a minute. So they go on the front of the ship there. So again, all I need to do is cut the plastic out for those parts and then glue those in. And that will look absolutely fantastic, and it'll help me light the inside of these engines out. And then the last part of the kit is the decals. Now these, for 22-year-old decals, are really, really good. There's no aging on these, there's no browning or anything, so that's really, really good. So I will be using these. I have looked online for aftermarket kits, and there are some about, but at the end of the day they all look exactly the same as these. There's no other decals to help embellish it, so I can't see the point in buying those decals, as I've already got them here. So that's about it for the model kit. What I'll do is I'll stop the camera there, get the other parts of the kit out, and I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay, so we've got the main parts out now for the interior kit. This is the instruction manual for it, and it's just basically printed on A4 paper. It is double-sided, and it is an extensive sorry, excuse me, it is an extensive set of instructions for the build, so that's actually quite good. It does go through, even on here, it gives you all of the seats there for the interior of the model, and it gives you the layout as well. Oops, sorry, it gives you the layout there as well, and it also gives you some more instructions there on what it should look like when it's all built up. So there is it's an extensive set of instructions, and it also gives you all of the colours that you need to build the model. And then it also gives you some websites to go to for another guide as well. So that's really good. And then we've also got the decals on this. So we've got bulkhead doors, cabin doors. We've also got the bunk beds there as well. We've also got some other little transporter ones, and then if we look there, we've got the console as well, and then the middle part of the console, and basically other auxiliary consoles that would go around the cockpit as well. And these are really, really good quality as well, and it's obviously a very high DPI rate on this one as well, so they're good. And then if we look at some of the parts, this is the cockpit. So this is the roof of the cockpit, and there's quite a lot of detail in there. We'll be able to take these sections out here and replace those with some clear plastic to help bring the lighting into the model. The sides are a little bit rough, so they will need a light sanding down first before we do that. But you can see on the top there that there is a lot of room to actually fit the lighting in. This part here might need to come out in the middle section there, just to help with the lighting, but it's not looking too bad. And then this is the ceiling and the sidewalls for the crew quarters, and again we've got the lights in there that we'll be able to drill out and put in. There are a couple of little imperfections. There's a big air bubble there, and then a little one there, and then there's a few little ones down the inside there. And then obviously we've got the flash that needs to be removed from the inside there. But again, the detail on that is really, really good. And then this is the floor for the cabin, and this has got a stippled effect on it to simulate a carpet, so that's good. There is some flash on this as well that needs to be removed. And then again we've got the floor for the cockpit, and again that's stippled to sort of give you the effect of carpet as well. And then this is the bulkhead for the cockpit, and again it's blank on this side, but we've got some detail on that side there. And then this is the bulkhead for the rear cabin, and again there are a few little bubbles on there that are going to need some attention, but again not a biggie, and you don't expect to buy a resin, especially a garage resin kit, without some imperfections. So that's those parts. In here, I'm not going to get all of these parts out because they are quite tricky to get back in, but you can see there we've got the transporter pad there. We've also got the, I believe that's one of the bunk beds for the cabin, and we've just got various bulkheads for the cockpit area. So there's quite a few parts in there. Again, these are just going to need to be lightly sanded down as well. And then in this little bag, we've got all of the little seats in there, and also the table, and some table legs, and then some various little bits of pole, and we've also got a bunk bed ladder as well there. So that's those parts, so that's going to be interesting, and that might take a little bit of time to build up as well. Sorry, excuse me. And then if we look at the figures, these are from a company called Bachmann, and these are basically 1950s train crew set. These are for a 00 scale, but they do, this scale does actually fit with the 172 scale runabout. Now the reason why I brought this one is basically because these two figures here, they do sit down, and you can see that they've got their arms up, so we can pretend that they're playing with the buttons on the console. Now these figures will just need a little bit of adjusting. Basically just need to remove some of the detail on there so I can get the Starfleet uniforms painted on. And I think the biggest thing there really on these ones is to remove the hats as well. And then the other ones that I have got are the businessmen, and again these are going to need a little bit of work done to them, to just remove some of the detailing of the jackets on there so we can get these painted up for the Starfleet uniforms. But these do fit in scale, as I say, these do fit in scale with the model kit, so that's quite good. The other thing with these ones, if I can just get one out without the rest falling all over the place, these don't actually come on a base. So if any crew members on the inside of the model kit that are standing up, they're going to need to be either super glued or just pinned and glued into place. And on the outside of the on the diorama base itself, they will most probably be pinned with something quite thin. But they're not looking too bad, they're quite good. So that's about it. I will come back to you in the next update as soon as I made some more progress. Until then, thanks for watching, and please do take care.